When Jesus said he was rising on the third day, who knows what they thought that meant? But certainly, they knew that people just don't rise from the dead, so it couldn't have been literally. He just must have been talking in some of his riddles before. So no one was there on the morning of the third day. Now, it's easy for us to kind of look back and say to ourselves about the disciples and Mary, come on! How come they didn't get it? He said he's going to rise on the third day. Why weren't they there? But really, ask yourself, would you have believed it? I mean, people just don't rise from the dead. If you ever go down in Waikiki and do a little, interview, do people rise from the dead? Did Jesus rise from the dead? Most people probably say, no, we just take that metaphorically. You see, Easter is it's a time for new beginnings, a fresh start. It's a sign of spring. That's what rising from the dead means. I was dead, but now I'm risen and I feel much better today. I was dead asleep, but now I'm... No, Jesus meant that literally. I mean, really. Come on, really.
I don't know who's that.
What would it take you to convince you that a person could rise from the dead? I mean, we're in this age of scientific enlightenment. People just don't rise from the dead. What would it take to convince you? Well, you might say, the evidence would have to be overwhelming. Well, here's my point. Whatever it would have taken to convince you, it must have convinced them. Why? Because the disciples were totally changed men after the truth of the revelation of the truth that Jesus did rise from the dead came to them. When it dawned on them, when they got it, finally. How do we know this? Because the Bible says, or even historians write, that all the disciples, except for one, John, died a martyr's death. They were either boiled in oil, they were stoned to death, some were crucified. I mean, you would think that, if the disciples really did get together to make up this big story, that right before they faced their executioner, they would say, hey, wait a minute, okay, this has gone a little bit too far. It was all a big hoax. We just want you to know that we just cooked this whole story up so we can get fame and